Okay, so time for a new video. Well, not a lot has happened this week. Yesterday we had FOMC, but yeah, a lot of people expected quite some movements, including myself, but the price literally is doing nothing. So yeah, what do we have? We are still in this same range, range high, range low. Here we have some sideways price action, and if we pull the volume profile, we can see that price is just rotating from the value area high right here to the value area low and just chopping in between, deviating value area low, deviating value area high, and price is basically kept between point of control and the value area low right now. We can see a little volume gap right here, so I wouldn't be surprised if price also spends some time above to fill that gap. But overall this is forming like a healthy looking range. So that means that we can play it like a range, which means you want to do business at the range extremes and not in the middle, and especially not between, yeah, like right below your point of control. This is not an area where you want to take big risks. So personally, I'm just staying patient. Then locally, what can we see? Yeah, as said, price is right in the middle here. We have a local range with our range low right here, range high right here. So maybe if we get local distributions, we can play it to the other side. Same for lower. If we maybe sweep this low, form an accumulation in the process, then it can be some short-term scalps. But overall, I'm not too interested to do business here until we get some more clarity. If we look at the statistics, then we have, let's see, our weekly P1 on Monday and our weekly P2 on Tuesday. We know that Monday and Tuesday are pivots that often put in the weekly high or the weekly low. And since it's now Thursday and our weekly P1 is still at Monday and our weekly P2 at Thursday, we can say that the next one that is getting taken out will be, give a strong sign what we can expect for the rest of the week. Which means to me that currently price is close to the weekly P2 and overall structure and lack of follow through, spot is still selling. But I would not be surprised if we take out this low, and if we do that, so let's say price can also just go higher, but if we take out this low today or tomorrow, that means that we have our P1 on Monday and then our P2 today or tomorrow. And it would open the doors for lower prices that are nearing, most likely towards 100k and lower. We can see that with the pivot zones. And we can see that also here the push up on Monday, which is also always a bit sketchy, created quite a good pivot because we are close to the P1 pivot zone. And since then we sold off, and this is a bit of a less good pivot to me. So I personally think that we can go lower. However, I'm not gonna position myself here because I don't see setup right now. However, if we take out this low, then I'm gonna look for short setups for continuation shorts towards the range lows. The range lows is an area where I'm interested in longs again, because we basically have our range low right here, and just below that we have a naked point of control and some demand. And because we are just trading range, we want to trade the range extremes. So taking out the range low into demand, take out that naked point of control, it will be a long trigger for me to just play the rotation back into the range. So for now I'm staying patient. Price is literally right in the middle of the range, forming a range in which it's also in the middle of the range. So you can put your alerts at the range high and range low, and then just see what happens from there. Here we have quite a lot of easy liquidity to sweep. So if we get above, don't blindly short, but wait for your triggers to get into a short, like a distribution model, a breakout structure, and then execute. Right now it's also a US holiday, so low volatility is expected, and that's also what we see. Then let's quickly look at USDT dominance, still looking rather bullish to me. Here we had that local accumulation, since then price pushed up, we came down and now are pushing up again, forming a local range right here. Here we have liquidity at these highs, and then we have that supply above. So yeah, if we, for example, see an accumulation locally right here, it could be a nice confluence with Bitcoin potentially forming that distribution right there. So keeping an eye on that. Besides that, yeah, slightly leaning toward higher prices for USDT dominance until we start breaking like below here. Then we can see this as a new range, and then I'm expecting the range lows to be hit, but for now this bullish structure is still intact, and I'm leaning more towards higher prices for USDT dominance, which would mean that we see lower prices on the crypto market, which is also yeah, where I'm leaning more towards. Also, the statistics show that this high is a stronger pivot as the low we have right here. I mean. So yeah, bit bias. Bias is a bit more to the bearish side. Then ETH. What do we have on ETH? And let me quickly explain my short from yesterday. Here we have this this range with our model 1 distribution, 1, 2, and 3. Since here we see that prices aggressive push lower, leaving liquidity, leaving supply behind, baked by a negative point of control, which makes the supply stronger. Since then, price had a strong sell-off, had a retest, filled some of this imbalance, and then had again a strong push lower, which indicates that sellers are in control here. Because if you have these kind of heavy moves lower, which leave this supply, and then below that in fair value gap shows that sellers are in control. So then if we zoom in, here we had sellers step in again, price retrace, go lower again. Let's see. So what was my reasoning yesterday? Here we had supply, price move lower, price has this local downtrend. Let me explain. Like on the high time frame we are trending down, in which we came down from here to here, and now we are moving, making this move. However, if you look at the local market structure, then you have also this downtrend. Lower high, lower high, lower low. And while in this downwards move, we have this supply zone. So I had that on my chart. And then I zoomed in more, which was right here. And you see that from low we push up and then consolidate here a bit. So then you can pull your range from high to low, put it right here. And then because my overall bias on the high time frame is bearish, because we had that distribution, here we also see that sellers are in control. So if you want to continue this local downtrend, then you often retest those supply levels, and these are the inflection points. So either you, like here you have that local downtrend right here, either you continue that into that supply and then continue your downtrend, or you flip above and then you start more of a ranging price action. So I always like to do business at these inflection points, because this is an area where you either break above this level and then you start pushing up again, or start a range, or you continue downtrend and then you continue lower. So I zoomed in, then we have initial range high, initial range low, took out the high right there, then we can extend the high. We did not tap in that supply just yet. Let's zoom in a bit more, and price was leaving liquidity behind, as you can see right here with these. It's a bit ugly, but here we have liquidity, here we have liquidity, here we have liquidity, and here we have liquidity. So if this gets taken out, then you get a quick flush lower. So here we had our one right there, our second tap right there, and our third tap right here, right there, which also tapped into supply. Then I zoomed in even more. We also had confluence of USDT, which looked bearish, bullish at that moment. So then you can be a bit more aggressive with your short side. And then we had that break of structure right here. Locally you trend up like this. This is the last two bearish candles before you make a new high, which makes it your market structure point. So once you break this, break of structure, that's your confirmation that this model 1 is confirmed, in which this is your invalidation. And then you break lower, and this is where you can enter. So I got in around, I think around here, 36. Let's see, 36, yes, stop loss above that high, and then target 1 was the initial range low, which is here, and then the rest of my position I manually closed in this demand. More, let's make it demand right there. So I closed most of the position at this range low, got hit there. Then the part of the position I got closed within this demand zone, and I had I think like 10 or 15% at this low. That did not get hit, and I was stopped out at break even right here. So yeah, overall nice trade. And let's see what is now the situation for ETH. Because ETH is basically in the same spot. Let's delete all of this. In the same spot as Bitcoin, in which we have this range. We are in the middle of the range. Also at the point of control, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, so here you have the bigger range, and then here you have a good looking volume profile with the most of the volume concentrated at the point of control, and then a tight volume range right here. And you see that price right now is stuck between the value area low and the point of control, and mostly between the value area low and value area high. So this is a very choppy area on the chart. So also here you want to have clean triggers and not get fucked right in the middle of this range. So you can pull your range here, and you have tap 1 at the low and tap 1 at the high. So here you can play shorts here if you get your triggers and longs from here. But overall I would say if you are not in a position, best is to wait for the higher time frame levels of interest, which I have here. We have supply baked by a naked point of control, which can be a lower high for a lower low. Then we also have one higher up in case this one gets broken, and otherwise long POIs are at the range lows because we have a lot of liquidity right here resting. So if that gets taken out into demand right here, we can just play the range lows rotations again. So that's the video for today, mostly watching the main pairs, and yeah, the altcoins will follow. So that was it. If you have any questions, let me know, and then I want to thank you again for watching, and cheers.